So when did you know this is what you wanted to do, that you wanted to act and be in movies? And
I knew when I booked Power Rangers. Yeah. I turned down, so I was 17 when I moved out. I turned down a full ride football scholarship to Virginia Tech. I played high school ball with D'Angelo Hall, who plays for the Redskins, and James Anderson on the Panthers was my outside linebacker. Daryl Tapp on the Seahawks, he was my DN. Chris Crocker was the quarterback prior to me. He played for Cleveland. I think he's now on the Falcons, free safety. I have about 8 friends in the NFL that I played high school football with. So I played quarterback. I had a full ride to play at Virginia Tech. It was the time when Michael Vick and Marcus Vick were there. So for me, it was like sit on the bench or go to Hollywood. Because there's no way I was going to beat Michael and Marcus Vick. And in college, they were just phenomenal, you know. And so I kind of had the Dean Cain and The Rock story where I was a football player and I just took that energy and got into Hollywood. So I moved to LA. I slept in my 1982 Toyota pickup truck. I had a twin mattress I picked off the side of the road in Beverly Hills. It was clean though, because I picked it off in Beverly Hills. It was like a brand new mattress, like for free. And I'm like, oh, I'm picking that thing up. And the funny thing, the print on the mattress had Williamsburg, Virginia. And I'm like, I'm from Chesapeake. This is like, God? You must be real. Like, this is crazy. Like, free bed for me. Picked it up, put it in the truck. I used to shower at Bally's every morning. That was my free shower and walk, start my day. I mean, pay like family plan and paid like $10 a month for the membership. So that's what I did. And then I did that for about 7-8 months, and I tried to model, and I got some gigs. And my first acting audition was for Power Rangers, and I went in and beat up 10,000 people and got the role. And then when I was on set, learning how to hit my marks and say my lines, I was just looking around. There was just one day we were walking in the clock tower, and I remember I come in and I say my first line. I walk into that place and I go, "What is this place?" And I just remember looking at the whole crew and the dust that they fake dust, and I'm wearing this suit, and I'm like, wow, I want to do this forever. You know what I mean? It was just that epiphany, like I'm never going to do anything else, and I haven't. I've never worked a regular job, thank God, since Power Rangers, and I've always worked as a model, actor, writer, editor, or whatever, anything I could do in the entertainment industry. I do photography on the side too, so anything involving the arts of filmmaking, that's all I do.
So, but did you act before that? I mean, and you just decided I'm going to be an actor?
I mean, I acted a lot as a kid. Well, when my mom said, "What are your grades?" I said, "All A's." No, I got caught once. I used to like rip the progress reports and throw them in the sewer before I would get home, not thinking that my mom at the end of the video or at the end of the quarter is going to get everything anyways. But my teacher would do the weekly progress reports, and I used to hate that because then they could ground you weekly. I like to get grounded, you know what I'm saying? I like to get grounded like quarterly when you get your report card, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I had 2 families. I had my Filipino side and my mom's full white, blonde hair, blue eyes, from Kentucky. You know, my grandfather's a minister from Kentucky. So I've got that side that I grew up with, and I got my Filipino side. 2 cultures. Like, my dad's side, I gotta take off my shoes. My auntie's like, "Michael, don't forget to eat your food. You have to eat your food." You know, it's my Filipino side, real ethnic. And then I got my mom's side. It's like my grandma's like, "Well, Michael, I saw you on that one Trey Hill. That was a really nice thing." You know, it's like 2 size of the coin I grew up with. And, I had to be one way around my mom's side of the family. I wasn't allowed to watch, anything rated R, PG-13 until I was 13, actually until I was like 15, And then my dad's side, he would let me watch Chucky when I was like 5, you know what I mean? I remember watching like Chucky when I was like 6 or 7 years old, and just terrified. And I get home, I'm having nightmares. My mom's like, "What did you do?" And then she found out I watched Chucky, and her and my dad were fighting because they're like, don't let him do that. But then my dad still would like let me do that stuff because he didn't care. So it was just, I guess I wasn't an actor, but I acted like two different people in two different households. And I was always a jokester. I would always take the camera and, videotape the family. Like, all right, today we're here for my sister's birthday. Hi, Nicole. I was that kid. So when I went to LA, it was just so natural for me to just jump in the industry and start acting.
You have that personality.
Mm-hmm. But I did learn. I do encourage you, if you want to act, take it serious. I did take the Meisner technique, which I highly recommend, and I'm writing a book on film acting currently. So it's just my perspective. I'm not saying it's the way. I'm just saying it's how I've built success in my career.
You've done well. So then you were in 2005, maybe? You did the Can They Sing?
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
So, okay. I've always wanted to be a singer. I started practicing singing when I was like 18, 19, and people would literally be like, "Shut up." Like, stick to your day job. I'd be on the set. If you ask any of the Power Rangers, they'll tell you Mike would sing on set. We would tell him to shut up. Like Aaron Cahill, all of it, like, "Mike, stop." So five years after Power Rangers, after booking One Tree Hill, I get asked to be on this show called But Can They Sing, which was like Dancing with the Stars, but singing. So it was like Bai Ling and Morgan Fairchild, Joe Pantoliano from Sopranos. So I go on the show, and the first time, I've never even sang in a karaoke bar. I'm telling you, like, the first time I ever sang in public was on this show. And I come out singing my theme song to One Tree Hill, I Don't Wanna Be. And then that was it. I was like, I love this too. I won the singing show, and after that,
I kind of want to smack him. It's just like, I decided to do this, and it just worked out,
I would work hard. Like music, singing is a muscle. Like I can say, when I was 18, I sucked. When I was 22, when I did But Can They Sing, 23, I was a lot better. It got better, and as the years progressed, since then I've opened for Bruno Mars. I've done some other singing shows, but I don't pursue the singing thing now because from that moment till even up to me producing film, it got me off focus as an actor. I feel like if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for everything. That quote. It's like, you really got to focus on like one thing. And I know how hard it is to hear that, because I hated hearing that as a young guy. I can do it all. No, you can't. Like, you can, but you can't do something. You can't be great at something unless you focus on that. Now it's like, I tell people, if I work out every day, if I just worked out one muscle every day, that muscle will be, in that realm, I need to spread it out. But if I played one instrument 12 hours a day every day, I'm gonna be great at that one instrument, like incredible, like Jimi Hendrix, like on the guitar. But if I play 12 different instruments a day, I'm only gonna be half good on all the instruments. I'm never gonna make a mark. I always tell people too, it's like, it's better to catch that one big sea bass, that's huge. It's like the record breaking, than to catch 5,000 small pieces of fish. Like, no one cares about that. They'll eat it, but they don't talk about you. When you catch that big one, they put you in the paper. so now that's kind of like, I've become more of a minimalist, even in what I own. I just went to Goodwill. They call me Santa Claus at Goodwill now. Because I brought like 30 bags of clothes, shoes, everything. I just minimized my whole life. You know, I watched minimalism on Netflix, and it inspired me to really like, what do I use on a daily basis? I even only have, in my house now, I only have 4 forks, 4 spoons, 4 cups, 4 bowls, because I never have more than 4 people at my house at any given time. And if I do have more than 4 people, I'll get party plates, you know? So now, it's usually just no more than 4, you know? My clothes, just minimized. I could fit all the clothes I own and shoes included into like one big suitcase now. Most people, but now I'll wear these LeBrons. Been wearing them. Like I have 1 pair of tennis shoes. I have 1 dress shoe. I have 1 boot. So I have 1 of everything. And then when I'm done with this, I now give it away and buy a new pair and wear that every day. As opposed to before, I used to have like 70 pairs of shoes, and I might wear 1. You know, you just got all this stuff, and your stuff starts to own you. You don't own your stuff. And then, you know, I just kind of apply that to everything I do in life now. I focus on 1 great film that I'm writing right now. Even when I'm at a party, like I was at the premiere of A Star Is Born with Lady Gaga, and I was with Bradley Cooper. So I'm good friends with Bradley. So the old me would have been bouncing around trying to get everyone's number, you know what I mean, trying to network. But this time I stayed right beside Bradley Cooper. And I just focused on that relationship. And then through that, I met the head of MGM Studios, met the head of New Line Cinema, I met so many great people. I got to talk more with Lady Gaga. And I looked at that compared to old parties I've been to in the past. I've been to big Oscar parties, Emmy parties, and I remember the old me would bounce around trying to get as many cards. And I actually have this big box of like 15,000 business cards. And I look at it and I was like, I never even called like 1 of them. You know what I mean? And it's like sad. You're like, wow, it's a waste of time and energy. You think you're gonna call them, and then you really didn't develop enough of a relationship to call them. What are you gonna do? Like, hey, I met you at that party. I'm the Filipino-looking guy. We're like, so? You know what I mean? So I just encourage people to have substance and really focus on those minimal things that you really want to passionately push forward.
What I take from that is I guess you should hang out with Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, hang out with Bradley Cooper.
Okay. So what is and we will take questions. There's a microphone. Oh, it's up here now. So if you have questions, you can go ahead and get lined up.